Hello. Happy, is it Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. I am here. I'm going to meal prep with you guys. Last week when I shared this recipe, I got lots and lots of questions. So I really want to just kind of go live, share with you how I do it, as I do it, so that you can use it too. I have to quickly get this ready, get this going, so that I can go get my little one. So we're just going to get to it. What this is it's a one-pan meal. One-pan meals are my saviors because guess what? I have this, this, and this. That's pretty much all that's dirty, so I don't have a huge stack of dishes that I just finished to get piled up again. When I am making meals, and especially dinner meals, I try to do multiple food groups. So vegetable, meat, potatoes. And that's kind of basically how I plan all my dinner meals. I make sure I get a little bit of all food groups if possible. So what I do first for this specific recipe is I cut up my vegetables. And a lot of the times we do this at the end of the week so that we can use whatever leftover vegetables we have to kind of get them before they go bad or just use them up. So I'll just take my vegetables and I will put them in this pan, and then whatever vegetables you want. I think if it was my preference, I'll put in some mushrooms. They're so good. My family does not like mushrooms at all. And honestly, if we are being honest, getting my kids to try the vegetables is just about impossible. However, when I make their plates, I make sure I put a vegetable on every single person's plate, and they must try a vegetable before they get more hot dogs. That's just the rule. You will see when I jump over here what hot dogs I use. But for your vegetables, you can just pick whatever variety you want, whatever speaks to you. Maybe you don't like the vegetables I'm using. The cool thing about it is you can be flexible in using whatever you want. But essentially, I'm just going to be roasting these up in this pan. So I've got carrots and broccoli, onions and bell peppers, because those are pretty simple, cheap, affordable, and they're what I like. So this is the first step. You can preheat your oven to, I normally do like 350, or 400, just kind of depending how fast I want to cook it. The thing that's going to take the longest to cook is going to be the potatoes, but I always put them and the vegetables in together. Sorry, I don't want to chop my fingers off. And it doesn't have to be fancy at all, because as you go, you'll mix it up. My husband loves onions, so I normally do an entire onion. Does anybody else always cry anytime you cut up onions? Because that's me. I saw on Amazon before that they have those onion goggles. I've never tried them, but I've always considered it, because I normally cry like a big baby. You see me while I'm cooking over the sink doing this number, that's because the onions got me. Alright, so, and again, as I don't measure a lot of stuff like ever anytime I cook, but I do try to use as much of the foods as possible. So you see this little top of the bell pepper, I'll cut that out so that it can be chunks in that. And I don't make them too small because I don't want them to like melt away as they cook with the potatoes. So I just get nice big chunks. Oh, my onions are so potent. Nice big chunks, and throw them in the pan. Okay. Hold on. I have a phone call. I gotta ignore it. There. Hopefully that didn't interrupt it. So, once you have your veggies cut up, then the next step is your potatoes. I normally do 1 potato per person. For Kenny, I'll normally do 2, and that'll be plenty for us. I do not like potato skins, which I guess you probably should eat all your potato skins, but I just, texture preference, I don't. So I'll cut the sides of it, cut it down the middle, and just make nice cubed pieces so that I can throw them in there. Again, I don't really measure, I don't really make it anything specific or fancy. I'm very, when it comes to making food, I like quick and simple. That's, if it's a recipe that's quick and simple, then it's a recipe I'm gonna like. But then you just cut up your potatoes, and then you'll put aluminum foil over those. That way they can cook. And if you don't like your vegetables as crispy or as soggy, then you could always do the potatoes first for a little bit, and then add the vegetables, and then add the hot dogs. But I don't care about the vegetables and potatoes cooking. I like the vegetables I like how the vegetables give the potatoes a nice taste. It gives them a little bit of flavor. It makes it delicious. So you will notice that the seasoning I use is Miss Dash. I love Miss Dash because it is low sodium, salt free, and it's pretty clean for the most part. They do have a bunch of different flavors that you can choose from. Like we've done a Chipotle Southwest, but I always for some reason go to the regular Miss Dash. They also have it in like big bulk container, which if I have a really low budget week, then I will go grab because it will last me for forever. But once you get your potatoes cut up, and get them in the pan, I guess I still have some more to go. Then you can get a little bit of olive oil and drizzle over the top of it as well. Then you'll just cover it with the aluminum foil and you're good to go. I normally bake this at either 350 or 400, just until the potatoes are nice and tender. I do not like crunchy potatoes. Nothing is worse than cooking and cooking and cooking and then going to bite in the potato and it's hard as a rock. It actually makes me crazy. So I would much rather have super soft potatoes and let it cook longer. So as you can see, I have my vegetables and I have my potatoes. You can mix them up if you want to. You don't have to. It's not anything fancy. Is that a Pampered Chef knife? No, this is just an old cheap set that we got literally, I think when we got married. When did we even get that set, Kenny?
What?
That knife set, when did we get it? I don't know.
I don't know, they're cheapies.
But we buy olive oil in bulk. You can measure it out. I don't normally measure out, but I'll measure out for you guys. Just measure out a tablespoon or two. Whoa, I just about dropped all of it. Tablespoon or two and then drizzle over the top. Doesn't have to be too intense. I'm gonna do 1.5 just because with 5 people, I wanna make sure those potatoes are done. I'm very picky about my textures when I eat. So you do that, sprinkle Miss Dash over the top of all that. Such good stuff. Put aluminum foil. You could either put aluminum foil just over the potato half, or you could do the entire pan. I do the entire pan. Then preheat your oven, which you should already have it going, to 350 or 425. Kind of just depends on how your oven cooks. And I hate saying it that way, but it's the truth. Some ovens cook faster than others. But I'll pop that in the oven. I'll let it cook for 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. Depends just kind of how soft my potatoes are getting. And then after that, I will take it out of the oven. Once it's cooked, I'll take it out of the oven. I will take the top off of it. And then I take hot dogs because my kids love hot dogs. Kenny and I actually do turkey sausage. You can get this at Aldi's. They also have pork sausage. They also have a different kind of sausage that I'm not sure what kind it is. I don't know. If I was in the aisle, I would be able to tell you. But I know there's 3 different kinds. So for the kids, I'll just cut the hot dog in half long ways because I am that mom. I'm terrified that one of these days my kids are gonna choke to death on a dang hot dog and then I'm gonna be angry. So I always cut it long ways and then I cut it into little chunks. While that's cooking, I will just put it in a bowl and set it off to the side so that I could pick up my mess. But I just get enough hot dogs for each of the kids. I normally do 2 apiece, that way if they wanna do leftovers, they have the leftovers for that. And I'll be honest, you could totally use a different meat. Like I could put a chicken in the middle of that meal right there instead of doing the hot dog. Like just put a chicken breast in there, put the other stuff around it and let that cook. But sometimes my kids won't eat, like they just won't eat that. So I'm okay every once in a while doing less healthy options. However, this is, this is hot dogs from, I didn't realize I took it out of the bag, from Aldi's, and they are gluten-free They are like no artificial flavors. So if you check the ingredient list, that will be better. I'm gonna wash that up. Check the ingredient list when you go to buy different foods. When you're buying foods, you wanna make sure that the ingredient list is like as minimal as possible. You want to try and eat foods that are of the earth or less processed, if that makes sense. I know when I was like, okay, I've got to eat healthy, I had no idea what eating healthy was. And a lot of the times when you're purchasing food or you're at the store, you go and buy whatever it may be, let's say canned corn or something. If it doesn't just say in the ingredient list corn, then more than likely they're adding extra stuff to that. So you want to avoid adding extra stuff to your ingredients. I know a lot of times you cannot necessarily help that, but that's just something to be mindful of when you're grocery shopping. If you're wanting to do healthiest, best for you, then that's what you want to look for. So then I'll take these sausage and I will just cut it into little pieces. And then again, when this is done cooking in about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what I want to set my temperature at and how fast my potatoes are cooking. When that's cooked, I will take the lid off of it. I will put the hot dogs on top and I will let it cook a little bit more until the hot dogs are a little crispy. And that's literally our meal. So this is going to be our supper. It is enough for me, Kenny, all three of my boys, because kids are jerks and don't eat food, but it's fine. And yeah, we'll have some leftovers tomorrow, which I guess, honestly, we don't normally eat the leftover potato or vegetables because we're a little picky when it comes to textures. But it's a simple, easy meal that you can enjoy. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, please give me some love right here. Drop a comment. Let me know if you want to see more entrees, more side dishes, whatever that may be. I would love to meal prep with you, for you, and just share some of my very simple recipes so that you can find success in your healthy eating at your home. So,
Do you need more sausage?
Kenneth Robert, I'm still recording.